to talk about the progress in the media team and what we are also lacking behind.
What about you? You just
Uh,
come whenever you like.
yeah, we are here to talk about the change of the media team to work towards media team to change.
All right, Ogashagun and Ola, you're going to say something. You think behind the mic?
We're just here to reevaluate and talk about the progress of the media team.
Yeah. Ola, why do we need to do this?
To assess where there is lagging, like where we are lagging behind as a media unit.
But why should we be lagging behind? You all look like smart, intelligent people to me. You all look like smart, intelligent people to me. So why? Why do you think we're having this problem? I'm being serious. I'm not pulling your legs. You all look like smart. I mean, apart from Genesis doesn't answer her phone. Most of you are smart and intelligent. I have no problem with your abilities, but I want to know why you think we're having this problem so that we can be on the same page. If we don't know why we're having the problem, anything I say you think I'm trying to get you to, I want you to us to be on the same. Yeah, go on. You don't have to put up your hand. Just talk.
Because we are different individuals with different personalities that don't have aligned values.
Good. That's very good. That's what this afternoon is all about. Is to try and bring us to a place where we can all agree as to what we want. You can put up this slide. Just put it up. I want to show you something which I want to show you this. The first illustration there is our goals. It's goals generally, people who have goals. And then the second one is systems. And I'm a fussy person when it comes to systems. But there is a purpose for systems. It is to help us achieve the same kind of goal. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. And so what I found out about us here is I don't think we have a good understanding of why we need systems. And we also don't have a clear goal, like Genesis said, about what we're trying to accomplish. And that's what I want to try and establish with you this morning. And I've told Jennifer to put a small presentation together because I felt let an outsider, you know what I mean, share, somebody who's not been with you, you know what I mean, detail. Let them share their perspective on what we need. But I can't get her on the phone and I don't know what happened. So I've sent her a message. So I want to be very clear about something. The first one is, what is our first goal? It's not changing. I don't know. Okay. What's our first goal? I'm going to narrow everything down to this. It's to have seamless live streaming with zero technical issues. Can we agree to that? Can somebody explain to me why during the after service, what they call it, the Bridge Connect, halfway through their program, sound goes up. Nobody knows. I can play the last week's song for you. In the middle, sound will just go off. They will keep talking. Nobody in the media team knows. The cameras are working all right, but nobody in the media team knows. It's not the first time, it's not the second, it's not the third. As a matter of fact, for the first 1 month when we started doing that program, 90% of the time, there was always an audio error. Always an audio error. So I think what we need to understand is this is what we want to accomplish. When we want to play videos, we want it to be seamless. When we want to broadcast, we want it to be seamless. We want to make sure that everything we do works like a proper machinery, works like something that is well thought about. I remember on Sunday I sent out all the videos that needed to be watched. Not only did I send them out, I wrote there and I said, if you have any problems, please ask me. I also appealed and said, please watch the videos so that there won't be any issues when we're broadcasting it. Yet, most of you know that there was a mistake in the first video. There was also in the middle of the second video because the videos were 2 gig. They were 2 gig in size, and I had to compress them in order to be able to send them by WhatsApp. And so somewhere along the line, it began to buffer because I had to reduce it to the barest possible size to be able to send it the way I needed to send it to get it to you on time. Now, if we had watched the video before, we would have found out that oh, this quality is not very good. Let's choose another. Are you getting my point? So my challenge is, can we agree that this is a goal for us? So that when you see things like this going wrong, it's not Shegun or Genesis or Toby or Ola. It's all of us who say, wait a minute, this is not seamless. What can I do? Am I making sense? To make sure that this fault, or how can we anticipate the faults that we are likely to have because of problems? For instance, if you don't check a video out before you play it, how would you know that you have the right video? How do you know that the audio is okay? The second part, which is something I think most of us don't know about the unit, it's not. It will be really boring if at the end of the day, we have a Dr. Michaels who has been coming here to record his programs. Dr. Michaels has created a following based on his recordings here using our own equipment that we have not been able to accomplish because we think that all we're supposed to do is Sunday service and streaming. No, media is media. We're supposed to engage people online with our materials, with our content. For instance, let me give you an example. Take the after service program. For you to get to the after service program, you would have to have watched 2 hours of tape, right? Am I right? Who's going to do that? Nobody. Nobody's going to sit down for 3 hours to watch the after service program. So what does that tell you? That the after service program needs to be cut. I don't know if you get the point I mean, and relocated. I don't know if you get my point. But because we all see it as just stream, let's just stream and let's go home. We're having all sorts of. So our second target, and I'm just using very simple goals, is to increase our engagement. And this is a typical example of what you call a goal. By 25% over the next 6 months, and to grow our online viewership by 20%. These are random numbers. They're not. I didn't pray about it. That's the point I'm trying to make. I just generated that as something that we can measure. All right. Now the question is, what do we need to do to make sure that we can do A and B? And that's where systems come in. Systems are nothing but. I think I sent you a particular picture the other day. I think it was 2 weeks ago. It was the second time I was sending it, about a woman who has for her kids, brush your teeth before you go to bed. That's what systems are. That's why, have you seen the videos for today? Have they been checked? Am I making sense? Are they okay? If they're not okay, send them back. I don't know if you get the point. It's just simple systems like that. Same thing with the audio. You don't wait until they have a video to play before you check whether the audio from the laptop is going to the speakers. You don't wait. As soon as you come in the morning, you have your little device or your iPad or your whatever, you go to the laptop, you say, let me test and see that the audio is okay, the settings are okay, even before anybody else does it. That way, when there's a video to play, nobody's checking the levels and waiting to check whether. So this is what I think is just fundamentally wrong. And so I really wanted Jennifer to do all this. That's why I'm actually. So basically, she's there now. Okay, good. So in a few minutes, we'll hand over to her. Weekly content production, schedules, and accountability, and then we've done training sessions. He has organized like 3 training sessions, at least since I came back, that I know. I found out that we can sit in those training sessions for 1.5 hours, but nobody practices anything. Now, I don't know why. Now, let me be frank with you. I'm the only person in this church who really gets paid. So after every service, they bring me like ₦1 million and give it to me as honorarium after service. Is that what you think? I'm not even on the church's payroll. I don't get paid. I'm like you, a volunteer and a servant. Of course, I get privileges by virtue of my position. But the point I'm trying to make is, none of us is doing whatever we're doing because there's financial reward to it. But it doesn't mean we should do things in a way that is not right. And so, what I wanted us to do this afternoon was to figure out, there's something called the 4 disciplines of execution, which I hope we'll be able to put into this unit, as well as some of the other units in church, which is to tell you the 4 things you need to do for you to succeed. They're already here. They're here in this write-up. I'll just quickly walk through. The first one is they call it a lead measure. A lead measure is simply the actions you take in order for you to drive a goal to come into view. Let me give you an example. If your job is to have a weight, let's say you're overweight, and you want to bring your weight down from 100 kilos to 80 kilos, and you go to weigh yourself and you're 98, and you're 97, or you're 96, that's a lag measure. A lag measure is something you cannot do anything about. You're just getting the final results. A lead measure is to check how many calories of food you eat. Am I making sense? How much you drink, how much sugar you put in your meal, that you can control. So I can't control how many people are coming to church on Sunday. I can't control how many people are going to watch the videos on church on Sunday. I don't know how many people I can't control any of that. But I can control the kind of adverts. I was so mad last week. When I sit down, I design flyers, I go to ChatGPT. Together with ChatGPT, I come up with content to market the flyer. In other words, the purpose of that particular content was to move people to attend the event. And then somebody is now streaming the event and copies exactly what I wrote to market the event, to share the event. And I'm like, is something wrong with us? The paper says, come and attend this program, and you're going to get to so and so. The program is under. You say, and you use exactly the same thing. Yet it won't take, even if it's Meta, as bad as Meta's, what they call that, their software. Is it LAM or something? I can't remember what they call it. Even if you just took that information and say, okay, the event, this is the flyer information for the event. Can you change it now to a flyer for streaming? It would have done it in 5 seconds, and you would have had content to do. But somebody couldn't go out of his way to just edit that. And I'm asking myself, why? My birthday is 1 week from tonight. I want you to please come for my birthday. My birthday is 1 week from today. Please come for my birthday. I see you 3 days later. My birthday is in 4 days' time. My birthday is in 3 days' time. I see you a day after. My birthday is tomorrow. And I take all that on my birthday, on the advert of my birthday that I'm streaming. I'm saying my birthday is in 7 days' time. How? So a lead measure are the actions you take. This checking of your microphone before it starts, of the sound, checking, putting adverts up for an event, putting the event up, cutting out 2 minutes or 3 minutes before an event. Before for a video that has already been completed and sharing it online. All those are things you can control. In other words, I can say to myself, I'm going to release one video from TBN every day for 7 days a week before that particular event. I can control that. I can't control how many people are going to watch it, but I can control how many times I put it up in a week. That's what you call a lead measure. That lead measure is what will drive people to come. In other words, for instance, in the last many weeks, I have been doing what I call education-based videos. And I'm going to share it tomorrow at the network, at the Real Success Seminar, where I sit down and tell people, these are the values of new streams. Now, people say, that might be stupid, but you go check our data. Go and check our data. We've had more engagement on those videos than anyone. I'm telling them about moments. I'm telling them about the values we stand for. I'm telling them about customized booking. It looks stupid. To somebody, it looks stupid. The reason why it looks stupid to people is everybody else is saying, come and use our event. And I'm not saying that. I'm simply saying this is what Newstream stands for. Newstream stands for getting you great moments. Newstream stands for cutting your cloth according to your size. In other words, if you have 500,000, we'll give you a 500,000 naira event. If you have 1 million, we'll give you a 1 million naira event. I'm doing all that to educate people, to let them know. Now, by putting that up, it has increased our engagement. What do I mean by engagement? More people are watching our videos. And whatever happens, those people watching our videos is translating into more inquiries, either by phone or by people coming here. That people coming here and calling us on the phone, that's a lag measure. A lead measure is the one that makes them do it. Same thing in church. There are some things you need to do that are regular. I keep giving the example of Ola. Ola has been helping me for the last almost a year now, I think. I can't remember, 6 months, I can't remember. But one of the first rules I gave to Ola when he was coming when he started working with me, that when you are leaving my house, there's a very sharp corner. And when you're coming to my house, that same sharp corner is the opposite direction. And I told Ola, every time you get to this corner, please press the horn. And every time you're coming from the other direction, press the horn. Why? Because it's a dangerous corner. Some young person who took his mother's car, you know what I mean, can be speeding down that place. You won't see yourselves in time and you have an accident. So the safety thing is slow down when you get to that corner, press the horn. It looks like a useless thing, considering the fact that we pass that road twice a day. So Allah has been driving me, let's say, for the past 200 days. And 400 times he has had to press that horn. And in the 400 days that he pressed the horn, nothing bad has ever happened. Then this particular day, Allah decides not to press the horn. Immediately we got to the corner, somebody came shooting through the corner. I just started laughing because there was nothing like it. I just started laughing because I was like, it looks tedious. It looks monotonous. It looks boring. You know what I mean? Checking, pressing that horn until trouble happens. When I was younger, my parents, I don't know about your parents, but my parents, you want to travel? They will check the 4 tires. They will go to the mechanic. You know what I mean? Check the water engine level. Before my father would travel, he has gone to the mechanic, he would check the car round. Guess what? I can't remember us having our car break down on the expressway or anywhere where we traveled. I've never had us have a blowout on the expressway. Now it looks ridiculous. You go and gauge your tire. You go and do this. You go and check your engine oil. But they knew what they were doing. They had service manuals. They knew exactly what day their cars were meant to be serviced. They used to follow those manuals like no man's business. But our generation now, today, nobody does it anymore. Cars break down, accidents happen, tires explode anyhow because we are ignoring simple protocols, processes. We don't follow, nobody, we don't have any system of checks. Go to any aircraft you go to, travel today, go beg the pilot to let you listen to what they do. Flaps, check. Lights, check. Brake, check. Oil pressure, check. What are they doing? They're checking and checking and checking. Now, the plane is probably the most dangerous equipment in the world because it's flying in the air at speeds that don't make any sense. Yet, they have less accidents than cars. Go check your data. I'm not exaggerating anything. They have less accidents. Systems are meant to protect you. They are meant to protect your children. They are meant to protect. Son, have you brushed your teeth before you go? If he doesn't brush his teeth for 1 week, nothing is going to happen. His mouth will smell. But let him not wash his teeth for 3 months. Tooth decay will set in. Yet that simple act of forcing your child to brush his teeth, and how many of you know that there is a rule that says there's a number of times you hold the brush in your mouth long enough for your teeth to... All those are nothing but processes. You don't do it, nothing will happen. But over time, consequences are there. So our lag measure, our error-free broadcast rate, increased social media engagement and viewer retention. However, our lead measure must come from the things we decide we're going to be doing on a regular basis that's going to stop us from making mistakes. Are you getting my point? Our mistakes come from that lack of preparation. This afternoon, the TVs were going off during this program. Somebody complained to him. That's Laolu, who doesn't hear. He goes to the back of the auditorium. He puts off the stabilizer so that the TVs don't fluctuate. But he forgets that by putting off the stabilizer, the inverter wasn't getting charged. And so in the middle of the service, I heard the inverters beeping. I had to leave here, go. By the time I got there, I didn't know what was wrong. By the time it took me to call Augustine to find out what was going on, how many of you know the screen that they were trying to prevent from going off went off? Now, it's the same thing when you got in this morning. The internet was bad. I get a note from Ola after a while. I know the internet is bad because I've been struggling with it there. I've sent Augustine to go and check all the Starlink because I checked. I'm not stupid. I checked Starlink the minute I got in. Speed was fine. It was working. So I felt maybe one of the repeater stations is off. So I sent for Augustine to go and check if they're off. Augustine comes back and says they're off. I keep trying. I can't get through the internet. I know something is wrong. I get a message from Allah saying that internet is bad, so they are using somebody else. And I said to him, we have 2 Starlinks costing us 75,000 a piece. And they are on. You really think the problem is using somebody else's device or solving what was the solution to the problem? Go to the Starlink, put it off, and reboot. And 5 or 10 minutes later, everything's done. Isn't that part of our systems check? You came in this morning, the first thing you do is the internet working well. You're about to stream a program. Don't you need the internet? Shouldn't the first thing we did when we came in this morning is the internet working well? Are the lights working? Are the screens working? If they are not working, an alarm. Guys, internet is not working. What do we do? Long before the program starts. I'm going to stop. See what maybe she wants to say, share with you. Are you able to get audio from the whatever? Let me close with this. Guys, I'm old school. You guys are modern. You're cutting edge. You are the ones who know the future. I can tell you, I'm the oldest person here. But I know more about the internet and technology than all of you. But I'm telling you something here now. And internet, speed, fast phones, fantastic laptops, the best equipments in the country are not going to help you if you don't understand processes. It's as simple as that. That's why I said Dr. Mike is here. He leverages our equipment. He does a great job. My own people can't produce anything. He doesn't have what we have, but the little he has is outproducing us, both in quality, both in creativity, because it's not what you have that makes you successful. Singapore, nothing. No oil. Japan, no oil, no steel. Go out there, the cars that you're going to meet are Japanese. I think sometimes we get too comfortable. I bought cameras. I remember when we went to go and buy tripods. Remember when we went to go and buy tripods for the cameras inside there? The guy who was selling the cameras was completely fascinated by the cameras we bought. He took the details. He wants to start selling it. And I remember the last Jerry Eze program. That's what they used to record their program. We have some of the best equipment you can talk about in this city. Yet what we produce is substandard. It's not equipment. It's just this lack of clarity of goals and the system that is necessary to produce results. And I don't blame you. So I'm going to stop. I'm going to allow Jennifer to say whatever she feels she may have. The reason why I asked her to come in and join the group is because I felt she's somebody who's doing her own work by herself. She does a lot of work for people abroad and they're satisfied. There is no way she's doing those jobs to people abroad and not following a process. You see, because here you can come out and say, internet is not working. Try and say that to your client in Canada. Just call him once and say, internet Ushishe, or there was no light, or Laolu put off the stabilizer. Tell him and see how much they will close your account that minute. So I felt she was somebody who could talk to you better than I can. But whether we like it or not, we're going to have to sit down and come up with goals. We're going to have to come up with systems by which we're going to pursue them. And we're going to have to follow those systems and those goals going forward. Let me add this before I sit down. You have no idea of the amount of effort that it takes to produce some of the videos that I give to you. You have no idea of the kind of hours I spend in the middle of the night watching different videos trying to choose which one is appropriate for the church. You have no idea. What hurts is that you've gone out of your way, you've transcribed the video, you've created PowerPoints, you've created slides, you've edited the video, you've put the subtitle. You didn't even give it to them to put the subtitle. You give it to people. All they're supposed to do is play it. And then they throw you off. You have no idea how much it hurts until it's your turn. Until you get on the pulpit and see how it is. When you've done that amount of sacrifice, that amount of effort, and people just mess you up. And you know the worst part of it? Not a single apology. Nobody came and said, "We're sorry. We're going to do something about it." The next thing was, and I don't blame him, and I thank him for what he did. "Pastor, what's next we need to do?" I said, "I can't move forward. I can't move. I'm sorry. That's the kind of. I don't get bitter. I don't. You can never see me bitter towards anybody. I'm telling you, it's something that I thank God for, and I think it's just grace. I don't get bitter towards people. I don't. No matter what you do, I won't get bitter towards you. I might get even, but I won't get bitter. But one thing is very certain. I have to talk to you about it so that it doesn't take root in my heart. Because that's how bitterness starts. When somebody does something and the person doesn't even acknowledge that he has done something wrong, and then he continues. That's how bitterness starts. That's how hurt I was on Sunday. Energy, resources, ideas, we put up sound system, we did whatever, we took that place apart. We got everything reorganized. I spent money. I spent close to almost 3 or 4 million naira getting that place up to speed. You have no idea how much it hurts until it's your turn. And the beauty of life is, I don't have to pray about it. Whatsoever a man sows is what he reaps. hand over to Jennifer. You can switch the screen to her. But let me thank you for making time this afternoon. And but today there's some certain decisions that need to be taken. We need to choose how we're going to run. Now, everybody brings a different kind of skill to the table. And so we're going to have to restructure the entire technical department so that certain areas are the responsibilities of certain people, so that we know who to hold for those things.
Good afternoon, everyone. Can everybody hear me? I'm trying to speak now. I don't know if I can be heard. Okay, awesome. I just got a message that everybody can hear me. I think I can see that we also have about 2 people or 3 other people, okay, 2 other people on call. I wanted this to be a bit interactive, but let me start by apologizing to Pastor on behalf of everyone and I can see that there are some messages here as well to that effect for how we have managed the team so far. I can't excuse myself, of course, because I'm a member of church and I try to contribute to the media team when I can, even though I wasn't officially a part of the team. So on behalf of the team, on behalf of everybody, also we're very sorry. We will do better, and that's why we're here. We'll continue to strive to improve ourselves and do better. We hope that this does not repeat itself and would only go better from here. If possible, I would like to have some feedback as well from the room. I'd like to know who's in the room right now. Who are the people that we're talking to? I know here we have Myers. Myers is on call, on the Zoom call. We have Olani Olarinde. If I can just get the names of people in the room. I heard a few names. I think I heard Mr. Michael, Mr. Ala. I know Genesis is on call, Mr. Shegun. Just to get a feel of who's Toby, okay. Okay, I think there was mention of 2 Tobys. Toby, Michael, okay, awesome. Jesu Tofumi, okay. Okay, awesome. Pastor has touched a bit on the few things that I wanted to share. But today I just want to lay some emphasis, and I'm hoping that this is just the beginning for us, is to lay some emphasis on self-leadership. So Pastor has shared some bits about, goals and systems and why we have to marry both together. Like he said, we have to sit down together to fashion out what are the things that are premium for us. We have to all agree that these are the things that are very important for us. These are the things that we want to see results of, and then have a system, checklist, have a system of who does what, have a system of communication, verbal and non-verbal communication, so that within service, with as little distraction as possible, we're able to communicate with each other and communicate with whoever is also ministering on the pulpit per time. So over time, I know we're going to sit down and actually do that. But I just want to spotlight right now self-leadership, but I'm going to start from the point of view of the types of leaders that we have. And I know that this is not news to some of us, but I just want us to, think through this together, right? There are three types of leaders that I'm spotlighting here. The first is visionary leaders. These people inspire people with a clear vision. This is what we're going, this is what we're doing, let's go. That's what they do. We have a servant leader, one that we've seen, epitomized in the person of Jesus Christ, who puts the team first, the team's needs first, and tries to help every other person develop themselves, helping them develop, bring their best foot forward. And then we have a democratic leadership, which is what our nation, Nigeria, is, patterned after, supposed to be patterned after, where everybody's input is valued and we work based on team consensus. There's a question, these two questions are questions, or three questions are questions that I ask when we're trying to talk about leadership. It's that which of these leadership styles is the best? That's one. Which one is the best? The second one, which you may not share with me because of our time constraints, I understand. I know that we have another event very soon. Is that what type of leader do you want to be, and then why? Why are you choosing that leadership? So I hope that's something that we document. But if I can just get some feedback, which of these types of leaders do we think is the best? In these three, which type of leader is the best leader? If I can just get some feedback, I'd really appreciate it.
The democratic leader.
Okay, why do you think that's the best leader? I think that's Jesuto, right? Is that Jesuto for me? Can everybody still hear me? Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Hello?
Yes, can hear you now. I'm with you, please go on.
Excuse me, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, I said the democratic leader.
Yes, I was asking why you think that leader is the best.
I think for a team to properly work and achieve their goal, everybody has to be on the same frequency.
Okay.
A clash of interest and personalities. So a democratic leader tries his possible best to bring everybody on board and ensure that nobody is feeling left out, or people are not feeling like their opinions are not valued in the team.
That's brilliant. Thank you. Let me just say this too. I think who is handling the Zoom meeting? I think that's Mr. Ola. I'm not very sure. Yes, sir. Please, we have participants here saying you should allow participants to unmute. So if you just allow, I think Myers wants to contribute so that those of us who are also on the Zoom call can also contribute. Okay, is that done? Yes. Okay, so Myers, I think you can unmute yourself and share. Okay. Yeah. Myers, can you hear us? Can you see the messages? I'm not sure. Oh, it's saying it's still the same. All right. Okay. Not a problem. Okay. So while we wait for you to reconnect, one of the things I wanted to, fantastic, input there, Jesuto. I think that is important. But one of the things that I think is that in a team as dynamic as ours, the peculiarities of our own team as a media team, we need every type of leader. Every of this, type of leader. We need the visionary, we need the Democrat, we need the servant leader. Well, we need every one of us to be servant leaders, really, so that we can put the needs of, especially the greater group, which is the church. We need to put their needs forward first, put the needs of the online church, those people who are joining us virtually, who are attending our services on various platforms. And what this translates to from my perspective is that there may be some of us who can be both visionary and democratic, or visionary and servant leaders, or servant leaders and democratic leaders. There will be some of us who can even pull off all three confidently. But while we're waiting to become the best versions of ourselves, it's important that every single one of us, embodies leadership. And this can only be possible when we've properly led ourselves, if you get what I mean. It's important that even from us, we lay an example for ourselves where nobody else is seeing us, right? We need to be able to inspire ourselves about where we're going, what are we doing with our lives, where are we going with our lives, what's the vision that we have for ourselves? How do we want to contribute? What is the thing that makes us feel good? Why are you in the media team? Why do you want to contribute to the church through the media team? Why do you want to contribute to the world through the media team? How considerate are you of every other person's perspectives and how they take on the information that we are sharing? How considerate are you of your actions and your inactions? Because we're realizing more and more that it's not just about people's actions, but their inactions and how they handle their own inactions, right? So let's go to self-leadership. That's where I want us to really focus on. And I'll spotlight a few skills after this, but I want us to really look into ourselves right now. And I want that to be the starting point for us. Yes, we're going to set goals. Yes, we're going to run systems. But you know what? These goals and systems that we would have as a group would not work if you don't work. If you're not in tip-top shape, if you're not in a good enough headspace, if you're not confident in yourself, if you don't believe in what you carry and what you can do, if you are still second guessing yourself or you're still holding yourself back, then our goals and systems are going to fail at the point that you are, because you are an integral part of the unity, you are an integral part of our church. You are very important to us. We need you more than you realize. And so we need you to be functioning at the best version that you possibly can per time. Okay, so looking at self-leadership, we want to look at how do you lead yourself best? What does responsibility mean to you? How do you motivate yourself? What are your strengths? What are those things that you are terribly good at that nobody can take away from you? And I want us to, in the next couple of minutes, just write that down. Write it on your phone where you're taking notes, write it in your notepad, and write that down. What are two strengths that you know that, oh, this makes me a leader. This makes me the person who is able to inspire and guide other people to attain a goal, because a goal and a system is what we're seeking to work with. So what are two things that you know that in your sleep you can do? It's your superpower. It's what you can do without thinking. Two things that nobody can take from you, that is just your top-notch superpower that can help anybody achieve any goal they want to achieve. Just write that down. Two things that make you a great leader. Two things that make you a great leader. Two things that help you, just guide towards a goal, and you know that for this, no shaking, I'm good. If you can have a few people, share as well. Just share your strength and share it with us. Let us know. Would like anybody? Let me open the chat to see if I have any communications. Myers has not been able to reconnect. Anybody want to share? Genesis, Michael, Toby. Anybody want to share? Somebody wanted to share? I heard the mic go on. Nobody is willing to share. I'm asking for feedback. I want at least one or two people to share two things or one thing that is their superpower, that is their strength, that just makes them a good leader. If I can get a view of the room too, I don't mind.
Can you hear me, please?
Yes, I can.
I'm saying empathy.
Okay. Okay, empathy is your superpower. That's good. We need that. Anybody else?
The ability to listen.
Ability to listen. Okay. Can I ask, I think that's Genesis. Can I ask Genesis, your ability to listen, and this is me just asking you in a one-on-one, does it affect your ability to communicate back, to give feedback and share? Maybe you're so used to listening, you just don't end up.
Yes.
Okay, all right. Does anybody else want to share their strength? We have empathy, we have ability to listen. Anybody else? Okay, in the absence of anybody else, I'd like to give a take-home assignment, and I'm going to give this until I'm through with my talk. I'll just keep dropping those so that the next time we meet, we can walk through them together. The first one is, what does responsibility mean to you? What does responsibility mean to you? That's the first assignment. What does responsibility mean to you? How do you get yourself motivated to take action in your personal life? In what ways do you motivate yourself to take action in your personal life? First, what does responsibility mean to you? Second, in what ways do you motivate yourself to take action in your personal life? In what ways do you take action? This is not written down, so I hope that someone is able to, I hope everybody's able to take that down. The third one is, what is one area you would like to improve on to become a better leader? What is one area you would like to improve on to become a better leader? First, what does responsibility mean to you? In what way? Second, in what ways do you motivate yourself to take action in your personal life? The third one, what is one area you'd like to improve on to become a better leader? Okay, so just spotlighting these skills, I'm not going in depth into them, but I think that they are critical to, while we're developing ourselves, these are major skills. One of them has been mentioned, which was empathy. I think empathy is is one of the things I'd have to check. These are major skills that we need to sharpen while we're improving ourselves as leaders. Okay, the first one, effective communication. Say exactly what you mean. Say exactly what you mean. And be timely with your communication. For us, timing is even key because we have of a service time for the network service, for example. And in that time, we don't want to take out of that time by, can you hear me? Is the video up now? Can we do this now? What's going on? You know, sending notes, even if it's sheets of paper, even if it's a dedicated chat box, it is important that we find ways to ensure that our communication is timely, it's clear, very understandable, exactly what we need to say. The video cannot come up now. The video will be up in 10 minutes. The slides would come up in 5 minutes. The lyrics cannot be displayed today. You know, all of those things. While we're looking for solutions, we must share so that whoever is handling or ministering knows how to manage themselves and the resources they have in that. It means that display is not going to be one of the resources that they have to be able to minister or manage the congregation. Okay, so effective communication is important. Listening actively is also important, which is something that maybe Genesis would be teaching us in one of the sessions that we'll be having. Paying full attention, asking questions to be able to fully understand what is being said, and then engaging the person, maintaining eye contact, nodding, you know, letting them know that you're listening, even while your attention is somewhere else. Oh, okay, are you saying that while you're trying to fix some wires, listen attentively? More importantly, staying positive, staying positive. Tensions can run high, especially when you're on the spot, but you know, teaching yourself to just stay positive while speaking to others is very important. I am unable to do this now. Could you do this? Could you please? With all the politeness that you possibly could muster, you know, we have to continue to do things with love. Love, joy, peace, these are things that are fruit of the Spirit. If it takes you taking a moment to pray in the Spirit, to call yourself back to say, you have to say this in the right words, you have to say this with the right tone, you know, let's endeavor to sharpen this skill. The next skill is empathy, which is how we understand and motivate others. It's how we are able to let people know that we feel what they're feeling, or we can imagine what they're feeling, which is, imagination is one of the most powerful skills or most powerful tools that God has given to every single person. It can be sharpened, it can be built on. Earlier in the meeting today, during the cancer awareness conversation, the emotional gaps, one of the things that Dr. Michael spoke about was visioning. And I think there was another speaker who also mentioned that visioning, you know, you wake up every morning and you envision, you have pictures of, this is who I want to be, this is what I want to have, this is what I want to do. You know, that's how you can also sharpen your imagination. So you have to build empathy as well as a leadership skill, making sure that you acknowledge the feelings of others, knowing that, oh, you're feeling bad right now. I'm going to try to take off this work away from you and hope that when I return in 20 minutes, when I return in 30 minutes, you'll be in a better place to have a more productive conversation. I'm sorry this is happening right now. I hope that we can resolve this, maybe after service, maybe during the coffee break. Empathy is very important. And it's not doing it from a place of, let's just say this so that the person can stop being trouble. No, it's saying it from the place of, you're really trying to understand what the person is feeling and what they're going through. Not everybody's having the experience that you have. Not everybody is going through what you're going through or in the state that you are. Not everybody is at the state that you are. Different things happen to different people in the blink of an eye. They may receive a message that would throw them off kilter. They may receive, somebody may talk to them in a certain way that makes them feel unloved, unwanted, and it will just switch their mood in that time. Before they call themselves back to order, you don't want to add, you know, salt on that injury, okay? The third one is resilience, always coming back, always coming back. So these are skills that I think that it's important for us to build on: effective communication, empathy, which we can say listening, active listening is also a part of both. Then resilience, always coming back, always coming back. So remember what I said, we started with self-leadership. That is the focus. That's where, if we're not right, us being a team, we may just be out of sorts. So I really hope that the assignments that I've provided today really helps us, before we go very technical into these are the things that we need to break down, these are the things we need to do, and this is how we're going to measure ourselves. When we hit these milestones, this is how we're going to celebrate ourselves. When we come together, these are the things that we must do together. We must pray together, we must sing a song together, we must do a fun content every week, together. Before we do things together, we want to make sure that the I that is not in team is actually good. Before we come together to be a team, we want to make sure that you yourself, you're leading yourself, because it's only when you're responsible to yourself and you're able to say, I'm doing what God has asked me to do. I'm able to keep to time. I understand the value of, keeping to time, being on time in my personal life. Then it's easier to be on time or to keep to the commitment. Or I'll be there at 10 a.m. and you are there at 10 a.m., not a minute after, until we'll be able to sort the team. And it is my prayer, my truest, deepest prayer, that God will open our eyes, open our minds, and bring us to a place where He wants us to be, in how we conduct our lives, in how we navigate ourselves, such that we're bringing glory to Him, and it will make our service even more beautiful. That when we come together as a team, when we come on Sunday, when we come on Tuesday, Wednesday, when we come on special programs and special events, when we come together, the angels will sing, because what beautiful service we bring in the excellence that we're able to deliver. In Jesus' name, amen. So I would like to take any questions or feedback. I really wanted us to be able to, just give me some feedback. So if you have any questions, you want to talk about your experiences, things that you're looking forward to change, either about yourself or about the media team, please, I'm opening the floor right now for us to have that conversation, and we'll go from there. I think somebody is tagging Mr. Myers. Okay. Any feedback is welcome. Feedback, questions, anybody? Mr. Shegun, who else do I know that is person in the room? Okay, Myers unmuted his mic. Floor is yours.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Good evening, everyone. First of all, let me just second the apology. Pastor, we're really sorry for what has been happening, and I'm in fact, during the week, I had a conversation with Genesis and Mr. Allah as well. So everybody's trying to make sure that things work better, and I really appreciate this meeting. It's a wake-up call for everyone, and we're going to do better. So let me just drop this quick. So we talked about system, and I would make reference to the old messages that I listen to old messages a lot. And I was speaking to Genesis yesterday, and I told her that if the only access we have, or the only historical data we have, are those messages, and if the media team then did not record those messages, I'm not going to have access to it. And we don't really know how far, like Pastor talked about the lead and lag measures, we don't really know how far these messages can go. And at times I always go into his DM, like, thank you, sir, for this message. Thank you for saying this. Thank you for saying that. So if we can get this right, in the nearest future, we have people that would also listen to it, and it's going to bless them, because it has really blessed me a lot. Right. Another thing I want us to do is, we talked about increasing our reach. Okay. And there are some messages that I listen to that I feel that we can put them into short reels and push. And there's a way Instagram algorithm works. It works in a way whereby all you have to do is just push it out there, use certain hashtags. Over time, people that start to like those videos, then Instagram itself, the algorithm will start to suggest it to them without even doing much. But we have to be consistent with the way we roll out reels. And we have lots and lots of good messages, 30 minutes, 30 seconds, 60 seconds that can actually do all of this. So that is the part of me. That's why I see as that would increase our reach. Secondly, and that's the fundamental thing here, systems. So I feel like we should have a checklist. You've talked about it, and I just want to emphasize that we have a checklist that would be there. Anybody that comes in the morning, make sure that those basic things are there. And from there, we're going to push. Then another thing I noticed is the fact that, I don't know, but it's something I noticed. I noticed that we don't really put our all into these things. We just do it like we just want to do it. And I feel like we're serving God. We're not serving anybody. And I also want us to welcome each other's ideas. If somebody is saying something, even if it does not make sense to you, let us try it out to solve the current problem at hand. Everybody is trying to bring a solution. Something happened last week, and I went on where there was a problem. I brought an idea, and somebody else was saying, okay, let us do it this way. And it didn't make sense to me. And guess what? The idea worked in less than 5 minutes after spending 2 hours on the same spot. So I've got to understand that different people's idea, it might not make sense. But the big question is, would it bring the necessary solution? That is one. Secondly, I also want us to be very careful the way we speak to each other, most especially when there's tension. I feel like that level of respect should be there. If something is wrong, there's a way you speak to someone so that they won't feel bad. But it's getting paid. We're all serving God. And we all, the way we receive information differs. There's a way you speak to me that I'll feel really bad. I might not show it, but then I'll be like, you're supposed to speak to me in this manner. But the fact that we're in church. So I want us to be very, we should have empathy. I'm not saying we should not let somebody know that, oh, what you did is wrong. But there's a way you can relay that message in a way that they will not feel disrespected.
Right.
And I feel like that's something I've actually noticed. Nobody has disrespected me, but I've noticed it. And low-key, it affects their output. So those are the things I've observed.
Thank you very much for sharing all of this. I think they're very important. And I mean, for the interrelation part of what you shared about, you know, in the way we speak to each other, in the way it's, while we're looking at all of these things, and we're hoping that over the next couple of days as well, because I think we have the most tense job in church at every service time or every time we meet. And it's important, like you said, the way we communicate to each other can even affect our future service. To say, oh, I'm not willing to, you know, I'm just going to reduce my commitment. You mean even be an unconscious decision just because somebody spoke to you in a way that you did not appreciate in times past. So we're really hoping that we're going to work on that. I'm going to go back to what you initially said, Myers, about the content, social media, reels. And I just want to ask the group, is there anybody that is solely dedicated to social media? You know, you're just overseeing how our social media or the kind of content we can put out on social media, even if you're not the one curating the content every time, you're just the one overseeing that to ensure that we have consistent content on social media. Do we have anybody like that? Mr. Shegun, do we have anybody like that? Genesis, do we have anybody like that? No. Okay. So can I just ask Myers if this is something that he's willing to take up? I understand that you have other commitments and many other things that you're overseeing, but I just want to know if this is something that you're willing to, I mean, with the ideas you're able to bring forward on what we can do, maybe just to ensure that we have, even if it's one content that is outside of our regular service content online every week? Is that something that you're willing to take up?
Okay, let me just say this. So when I joined the media team,
Okay.
I before that time I used to have interviews with my friend, like a podcast. And there's this guy that helps us with reels. I think he charged about 35K thereabouts for 6 videos. And I remember when I came, I suggested that okay, I'm going to handle the payment. All we have to do is just get the videos and the audios, send into him. He's going to run the transcribe and everything, and he gives it to us so we can push from there. And when I got to the media team, I noticed that we have people that can actually do it. Yeah, so there are applications. So I noticed that we have able hands that can actually do those things. Now, the issue is not overseeing, but how do we get these things done in a way that we do not choke the person that's going to? Because I've done my findings, and I noticed that people try to shy away from certain things. Probably they feel, what if something happens? I'm not able to deliver. And they will not hold the person responsible, like, oh, you are the one that's supposed to do this. So how do we create an environment where it's not just going to be one person? Like, I understand what you're saying, that okay, one person has to oversee it, but then it's not just one person that will be creating the content. It's not just one person that will be bringing, okay, I think this particular audio is going to be good for content. This particular sermon is going to be good. I think we can pick this out. I think we can use this video. That will go a long way. But then there can be someone that will say, okay, these are the videos that we're going to push this week. These are the videos that we're going to push this week. These are the videos that we're going to... So I think that accountability is going to be there. But getting the videos is the most important thing.
From here. Are you with me? Okay, what we need to achieve, what we need to come to agreement is, what do we want to achieve and how do we want to achieve them? Then we'll create system around it. If we say we put one person in charge of a responsibility, and once the person is not around, nothing is being done. But if it's a system that is for everybody, then we always know that when another person is not around, another person can take that role, and we'll train each and every one of us to be able to do certain responsibilities within the media team. I think that will work better. If we say we put one person, yes, it's not a job for everybody. If we put one person in charge of social media, it just shows that every other person does not have any business to do with social media. And that is what some people will do, and they will just go their own way. But if we say that let us all understand how social media works, understand how streaming works, understand how everything that we do works, and we give each and every person on a day we have any event or Sunday service and say that you undo this, you undo this, you undo this, and we can switch it on every other person, and we know that every other person understands what we do as a whole, not as a bit. Then we know we have a team. A team is a group of people that works together, not as an individual, but as a whole.
Okay, let me answer the first question. You said, what's the goal? Now, Pastor mentioned something about increasing our reach and our visibility, our engagement. So I feel like the first goal for us on social media is to increase our audience. How do we get more people to see our videos? And I know that one thing that works well is reels. Rolling out reels every week will go a long way, using the right hashtags. That is one thing I know. So the goal is, how do we get people, or how do we get to create reels that we can roll out that will be enough to be uploaded every week?
The social media part.
Yeah,
the question of if we assign roles, if we assign roles, then other people feel it's not their concern. I feel like that is one of our major problems, because you feel, okay, this person has been assigned to a certain role. That's why I said we are different people with different value system, and we don't seem to get one thing straight. Just because someone is this, okay, so if let's say your hands are not, or your feet is not working, or a part of your body is not working, does your entire body shut down and say, okay, that's not my concern, or if the hand is not working, or if maybe my chest hurt, I should not, I don't know if I'm making sense, but just because someone is assigned to a role and the person is not available doesn't mean you are a team at the end of the day. You should always contribute to every sector. Yes, you're assigned to something, but at least don't just pull yourself out and say, it doesn't concern me, or I wasn't called to this, or because at the end of the day, when you listen to yourself, you sound very, very foolish.
Okay. I feel what Genesis is just trying to say is when we fail as a team, and when we win as a team.
Yeah. So what I was in saying that one, which is I think what some of what Genesis spotlighted, is that when we say one person is doing something or is overseeing something,
Question is, we're not a team. That's the problem. We're not a team. If we were a team, that shouldn't come up. Because one of the most interesting things about a team is that they have common goals. And so if, for instance, you're playing football, one of your members, his leg gets broken or whatever, and he has to leave the pitch. Do the 10 of you say, well, he's not fulfilling his part? What do? You brush up to each other. You know what I mean? How do we minimize the impact of the person who's not on the field this afternoon? Or somebody is wounded, or somebody makes a mistake. Do we all get angry with him and say, you've lost a goal, you're the one who caused this goal to come in? Do we stop? No, as a team, we come back together and we cross. So I think there's a point that Segun made that I think you're probably, have you noticed that I didn't tell you what to do this afternoon in terms of goals, in terms of systems? Genesis, you need to reshare some of the materials I shared with you that were already created for the units and the systems that are already there. What my one assignment to you in the next 1 week is that you have to come up with the goals, am I making sense? And the systems, because if I do it for you, you know what I mean? It becomes, and thank God for ChatGPT and all this. There are things you can plug this thing into, and you don't like the answer it gives you, keep tweaking it until you get what. So my challenge, I think that's what Segun was trying to say. We haven't reached the place where we have specific goals right now, because I want us to be in agreement about it. I want everybody to say, okay, we want to produce videos, 2 minutes videos every week. I want us to produce education-based videos about TBN. I want you to come up with such kind of list first. Then let all of us see if we can agree on going there. And then what are the systems we're going to use to get there? That's why I think it's an important point that we need to consider. I understand what Genesis is saying about people misbehaving. But Genesis, if we ever do anything in our lives because of the way other people are behaving, we will never get anything done. We would always find, even in your family, there would always be one odd person, you know what I mean, who is always going against the grain or say something you shouldn't do. It could even be your own brother, your own sister, you know what I mean? But you have to learn to say, well, this is where we're going. I don't care who's coming. I don't care who's pulling their weight. But this place, we're going to get, and I'm not going to be affected by that person's behavior. It's not going to affect the way I behave. So I want us to be careful that we're not a team, and I'm only trying to get us to have common goals so that we can be a team. That's really what I wanted to add to that.
Okay, thank you very much, sir. This is actually what we spoke about on Sunday after the service. We had a meeting and we realized that we don't have a system of operation that will work, and that is why we're having a lot of all this. Do you understand? And we said that we'll come together and see how we can draw out a policy on how we operate and what we do, and that will help us to be a team that we are not. Because once we know our target and once we know the goal, everybody knows that this is what we have to achieve, and it's not going to be sentimental about how you feel. That is what we want to achieve, and that is it. And I think we need to start from now. Since we are all here, we need to agree on what do we want to achieve with our streaming. Now, from my own end, I believe that no matter what we stream on Sunday has to be deleted. That is my own idea. Why do I say that? Not all the information on the streamline is going to be needed after the service. So I believe that once we finish service, since we are going to be recording, which is going to be normal thing that we do, record all services and make sure that the sound is good. Now, we need to delete them. One, the quality of Zoom to streaming is not good. But we have to use that because of it. And so if we stream with Zoom and we delete it and we've recorded with our OBS, we can upload it back immediately. But we might have cut all the services. That means that we'll cut the Bridge Connect, we'll cut the service, and we'll cut prayer for the nation and the choir administration. Then we'll post them like that. Do we agree on that?
No.
I've tried to work on that, sir.
There will come a place where we used to keep records of all our videos and our audios. We used to have cassette tapes, CDs, and so on and so forth. And so what happened was we were spending a tremendous amount of money making those videos and keeping them. And sometimes people won't make any demand for them. I'm talking about before the internet became what it is. And so we spend a tremendous amount. As a matter of fact, if you go to the store, you will find we have about 6 cassette reproducing, duplicating machines, where we used to produce up to 100 per hour of tapes for people. Now, technology has changed. The primary reason why we stream and put on Facebook and on YouTube is to store our services as records, so that if we need something. This morning at the leaders meeting, I began to prophesy. I don't remember what I prophesied. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. I was able to go back to the Zoom account, you know what I mean? Go there, take out the prophecy, so that I can keep the prophecy for myself, from future reference. So sometimes something can happen, not in the middle of the service. It could happen during prayer for the nation, and you want to be able to access that record. So we should use that as like a data bank. And since YouTube and Facebook store all that for you for free, you will be spending unnecessary money trying to create storage. You get the point I'm making on this side. So I think there should be that one that happens that is online. I agree, though, with editing, you know what I mean, and producing a version that people can watch after the event. Are you getting my point? But that record, that idea, because a prophecy can happen, a move of the Spirit can happen, you know what I mean? Something could be said or done. Once you delete it, to locate it becomes a problem, to store it becomes a problem, especially when there's no offline storage. So we want both the offline and the online storage. And like you said, in 5 years' time, 4 years' time, I'm looking for a message that I preached called 10 times better. I've been looking for it for the last 1 week. I can't find it. Because what must have happened was that the person who streamed it used a different title for my PowerPoint. So now I have to physically go through that year. You know what I mean? I know the month. That's the good thing. I know the month. I'll go and locate that year and that month to find it. But because it was online, I also don't have to come to you guys at the media department to say, can you find this tape for me? You get the point I'm making? So keeping an online archive, you know what I mean, it's something I think we shouldn't play with. Whether it's audio or video, even if it includes laughter and jokes, leave it. But there should be a post-production video. As a matter of fact, the post-production video should not even be the same length of the sermon. I don't know if you get my point. It could have been a 1-hour service that is edited into 15 minutes or 20 minutes. Are you getting the point I'm making? And still leave the full version there for archive's sake. But it cannot be the same 1 hour that we did the live. You have to cut out. And then even the title we've already discussed this, of this edited one, doesn't have to be the same as the other. For instance, I used a lot of Selman's videos last Sunday. 90% of the service, and likely tomorrow as well, depending on how well today's Miles Monroe message goes and how well it moves. It's likely we're going to play this one again tomorrow at the service. Now, you'll find out that the amount of time I spoke was like maybe 5 minutes every 15 minutes. Now, how are you going to edit that without copywriting, what's his name, Selman's material? It's a different kind of edit. I don't know if you get the point I'm making, where you just take my intros, you know what I mean, and then layer clips from what Selman said and then end it with my conclusion, but you can't do it the same way it was done live. Are you getting my point? So we cannot lose that storage. That's the beauty of YouTube and Facebook, even Instagram, is the ability for you to store something. I pay, sweetheart, we pay $10 every month for iCloud, each of us. Google, I pay close to $60, $70 a year. You know what I mean? Just to store my, so to now have a place where you can store an enormous amount of videos and you don't have to pay for it, that's a gift. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. We have to keep those videos intact. Then we can edit, but the editing should not be the same length. It shouldn't be beginning and end. That would be a bloody waste of time. You know what I mean? But I would prefer you say this excerpt came from this full version of the tape, and even tell them when you're going to the full version of this tape, the message starts 1 hour 30 minutes into. That's better than trying to do. We have the 5 minutes, 2 minutes, 3 minutes videos being created by a software, Opus Clip. We now found out that what's the name? CapCut can also do it, and I have paid versions of both. So CapCut, and the only problem with CapCut is that you have to download the video. Abi? As a matter of fact, you can tell CapCut to do the 15 minutes version of the video for you, and it will do it with subtitles. I don't know if you get the point I'm making, but you have to download the video, feed it into CapCut, while Opus Clip, you have to just put the link to the YouTube video and tell it where to start and where to stop. So we can't afford to lose our archive. We call it archive. This is just the stored full version of our message. It doesn't matter whether there's naming ceremony. It doesn't matter whether, because what if the person who did their naming ceremony wants a copy of the message? You know what I mean? So let's keep that as our archive. All right?
So do we have an agreement now? Please, can you take note? Tofumi, please take note of that so we don't lose that.
Yeah.
Okay, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Okay, this is what we're doing. So that means that at the end of every service, we have to repost the highlights of the service on all social media platforms. Okay, you want to say something?
I want to talk about the video quality. Thankfully, the audio quality is getting better for our live services, but for the video quality, is there something we can do to improve the video quality? It's always looking whitish.
Because of the software Pastor uses, because there is nobody that is doing it. Yeah, so it's Pastor that is doing it, and he will do it. The short videos that we see on TikTok and all. And our full service. Yes, the quality is fine. Yeah. Okay. Reason is this. Okay. Reason is it is Zoom that is doing it. If you are watching it on Facebook and YouTube, it will look like that. But if you watch it on Instagram, it's not like that. So is there something we can do to ensure that there's quality video? And that is why we are for streaming. It is going to be like that. Reason is because if the internet breaks down, the Zoom does not cut off. It's still streaming like that. So we have to just go back and join.
Can I say something?
I'm not sure they can hear.
you have 180p. As a matter of fact, you have 2040p.
Can I say something?
You have 1440p.
Someone.
You have 360p. Am I making sense? Uses an AI. If you're getting the point I make, yeah, it will drop it down to the 760. Am I making sense? If you have very good internet and high speed, it will upgrade the quality. As a matter of fact, some YouTube apps will allow you to select HD quality. Yeah, but please, let's understand something. If you want to fix something, let's fix content first. I don't know if you get the point I make. Let's fix content and let's fix engagement first before we worry about quality. I found out that even in videos, if your audio quality is not good and your video quality is fantastic, people will still not watch it. So I would go from content, audio, before I start worrying about video. I'm serious in terms of order of priority. So if we don't do engagement and content and we don't do audio, it's too early to start worrying about. I've never seen anybody see a fantastic video and say, because of the picture quality, I didn't watch it. No. So once the audio is clear, the content is fantastic, and then today, CapCut and all these softwares have software inside of them that can improve quality. I remember I did a 5th generation recording from the platform, and I used CapCut to upgrade the quality. It was an Instagram post, and it still improved on it. So I don't think we should worry about that yet. We're not there yet. I don't know if you get the. We haven't gotten complaints from people saying the quality is too bad, I can't watch it. But engagement, audio quality, smooth transitions, you know what I mean? Like Jennifer said, making the person who's watching you feel you care, that you couldn't do something for them. It's so fundamental. You know what I mean? And then, for instance, you guys, you do a lot of talk. How do you feel when you watch a video and you found out that half of what you said wasn't? How do you feel? Yeah, and then nobody says sorry to you. How do you feel? Do you feel like doing another one next week? You say, I'm watching my budget on here, and you just leave it. Am I making sense? So I'm saying, let's do the things, like she said, that have to do with compassion. That has to do with engagement. You know what I mean?
Yes,
let's
sir.
do those things. I'm not worried so much about, quality.
No, don't worry about Pastor's mic. Don't worry about Pastor. We'll share mic from here. So do we agree now? Can we note that?
Yeah, I wanted to comment on that. I feel like I want to ask Mr. Shegun, if we record the service direct, would it affect the upload, the quality of the upload after?
No.
It won't.
It won't.
It won't. But the quality will be better than if it just goes straight from Zoom to YouTube.
Reduces quality. That's why our quality is like that on YouTube and Facebook.
It's also the fact that Zoom has a maximum streaming quality. I think it's 760. So there's nothing you can do about that. They're not designed for that. But even
that's why
there's some platforms that won't let you watch even beyond that 760 too.
And that's why we are saying that once service finish, we'll just cut the highlights, which are going to be in normal good quality 1080p on all the social media
But
platforms.
what I'm saying is one of the things we should aim for. Now there's some services, this is where discretion comes in, which is why I used AI. Even myself as a person, I don't know what to remove from my own message. I feel everything I've said is important. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. And one of the problems we've been having with people is that because we all come from different backgrounds, I find out, let's take some of the videos you guys showed here during the anniversary that Mrs. Adair helped us to curate. I found out that sometimes the thought is not complete. I don't know if you get, and we stop. Now that's by nature of my training. I want something to start and finish before I cut it off. Now, some people, they don't care. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Once they get what they want to get, they don't care how the video ends. I care. Are you getting the point I'm making? So I had to start relying on AI to cut. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. And then, because there was no emotion, you know what I mean? It's a software. It says this is enough. And I found out that it has edited some of my videos very, very badly. But it has also edited my most viral video. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. So I have to have confidence that this software, you know what I mean, can do what I want. So something like Zoom has a limit to how much you can stream. OBS, maybe you have a little room of... Restream also has a cap. So once it comes to streaming, you have a cap. And because we're taking our video quality from Restream and from Zoom, that cap is going to be there. But once they record it, they will have better quality. But I'm saying it is a waste of time to do the same thing again. You know what I mean? Without any major change to the content. But if you take the content and splice it properly in an exciting way. For instance, one of the things I was telling these guys, I said, one, they have to start bringing in people to their conversations afterwards. They should learn to talk to people who were coming to church for the first time to get a feedback from them. But more important than that, sometimes they can do an intro. You know what I mean? Into the service. You know, today's service, we're going to be talking about this. You know, this is what you should be looking forward to. You know what I mean? So and so is going to be speaking, and I think this is going to happen. You know what I mean? It's like a football commentary. And then go into the service and come back and comment again. All those comments, if you remember my first idea for the Bridge Connect, was that we don't need to put people through praise and worship. Let all that be Bridge Connect. You know what I mean? But we haven't figured it out yet, and we can't afford to lose our archive. The archives are very important because we never know when the Spirit is going to move. And so it's important we have a full record. The Bible says, I think it's Luke saying, I think it's Luke in the book of Luke, either Luke or the book of Acts, where he says the treatise that, you know, that I recorded everything that Jesus said and did. It's important we keep records. Everything has to be archived, whether we like it or not. You know what I mean? You'll be surprised that something will come up later that you will need. So I don't want that damaged. But good quality videos edited to 10, 15, 20 minutes. Again, that's at the discretion of the person who is editing. If the person feels 1 hour is a better capture. I used to think the shorter the video, the better. Yesterday, I sat down and watched 2.5 hours of Trevor Noah and Stephen Bartlett. And I've been doing that for a long time. So I don't know whether there's a formula to what we do. I think the content determines how long, you know what I mean, the video should be. So there will be videos where you won't be able to cut anything out of it. And you will do the full video as it is. And some things where you know half of the thing that, especially when it's not relevant to the public. I don't know if you get the point I'm making. Yes. When we're talking about people in church, you know what I mean? Kunle this, that. I think we don't need that. You know what I mean? We know how to cut those off. But even that cutting requires some skill. You know, it requires some skill. It also requires the person who's cutting to have sense, which is why I said let's depend on AI. Because AI is programmable. And the beauty of CapCut and Opus is that the more you edit, the more it sees what you approve of, and the more it begins to do what you like, and less of what it likes. So that's something you got to know about this software.
Okay, sir. We'll give you the trial, sir. Yes, okay, sir. So we will at least be reproducing the service, highlights of the message and other activities, but we'll still leave the main one there. We won't delete it. Do we have an agreement on that? Okay.
So, I wanted to drop something.
No, the question is, who is going to be doing it, Abi?
There's no audio. I can't hear anything. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir. The issue is this, sir. One, if it is recorded on our system, we have to transfer it to another phone or gadget to use. That is one. Two, if it is streamed and we want to use the link, we won't be able to download it that same day. Immediate. It takes time. Yes, sir. So those are the two constraints. So, and not every one of us here has phones that can take that much, or every one of us has the CapCut that can do the AI because it's a paid CapCut. So that means that we need a laptop, and most of our I'm actually advocating that we also reduce our systems that we do use there. Instead of using 3 systems, we can reduce it to 2 or 1. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We just need one system and one person to just be on that immediately after service, so we get that out of the way. We record to the hard drive of the system, and once it is copied and it is transferred and it is uploaded immediately, the only time we can only delete is almost 1 week after we delete it. So we delete all videos a week after production from the system, and every other video on the MSI laptop. Do we agree? Let's note that. Now, another thing I want us to note is that nobody leaves their position when service finishes, except it is life-threatening or important. Because those are the main issues. Once service ends like this, everybody just goes their normal way, not minding that there is still more to be done. That's why. Okay, sir. Yes, the best way to stop them is just that you go and sit with the church. Okay, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, sir.
Implementation
Transition.
Where we're testing different ideas to see whether they work. Forgive us, we're testing. But come first week of first Sunday of December, we hope you will see a change. I don't know if you get the point that it will work like it. Is that a plan?
Yes, do we agree about that?
Everybody give your input. If you think about the quality, add your input. I want an improved quality. Let's add it. Let's see what the AI says. I don't know if you get the point that I'm just saying experiment. You won't learn anything until you step out of the comfort zone.
Okay, sir.
We will just try different things. You won't like some of the answers the AI. Because one of the reasons why I like the AI is that it makes me think about things I didn't even know to add to the list. I don't know if you get my point.
Yes, sir.
So please, let's leverage the tools that are available to us to create the world that we need. But I want everybody's buy-in. All I'm trying to do is I want people's buy-in. Some people are not interested in editing. Some people are not interested in, you know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Mrs. Adea, she likes Bridge Connect. You know what I mean? Let them do what they like, but let them give us input. I don't know.
Yes, sir.
Think there should be somebody who monitors, for instance, there should be somebody, it could be one, it could be Mrs. Adea's daughter, who puts on a headphone and plugs it to her mom's transmission and checks whether the audio is working. The minute the audio is not working, she lets the media team know audio is gone off. I don't know if you get the point.
Yes, sir.
I'm just saying, those are simple solutions that we can introduce. Okay, Mrs. Adea's daughter is not available. 3 or 4 other people can do that same job, but we have put up a system for it. I don't know if you get my point.
Yes, sir.
Then there will be minimal errors. I don't know if you get the point I'm making.
Yes, sir.
So it's not, these are not big deals. It's just having a process that protects. We come in the morning. Who tests the internet? Somebody, that's what the person does. He does test both internet to see whether they work.
Okay, noted, sir. So, this, I think, will make us to adjourn this meeting, and we are going to be having Saturday and Sunday meetings and review. And it is going to be based on that review, we'll form a policy and we'll start and test again for another Saturday and Sunday. It means that everybody has to be available, except for those that are going to school. Please, we want you to be available so that we can have your input in this. Are we good on this? So, do we note what we have said so far so that we can quickly move to and put the... Okay, Jennifer, she opened the floor actually. So, Mr. Myers, are they still there? And do they have any other thing to say before we adjourn?
Yeah, I think we said it all. I wanted to comment, but then pastors addressed it, and I think we're good to go. From my end, we're good.
Journey start again. It has started and will continue tomorrow immediately after the Bridge Connect. Thank you, everyone. Mr. Myers, please give us a closing prayer.
Sorry, before we close, can I say something? So, Miss Jennifer said something during our presentation, which was, she mentioned empathy and another, let's say, abstract feeling. Can we at least, maybe before we begin every event, church service, understand how everybody is doing? So I interned at an organization once, and there's something we do. We do it once a week, though. It's a PICE test. As how are you doing physically, emotionally, intellectually? Yes, because it makes us understand where you are coming from when you act irrationally, and do certain things. So we don't, because sometimes you don't understand how much the way you treat people or the way you react affects us psychologically. So maybe when we know, okay, today, let me be honest with you guys, I had a horrible week, my boss was this, or maybe my mom, something happened, we know how to relate with you better. We know how to treat you, and we understand that whatever you are doing now is not you. It's just, you don't have to share sensitive things. Just tell us, okay, I'm not too good. So whatever I do, please just take it from me this way. Because there'll be lots of feedbacks and comments that, okay, maybe due to the heat of the moment, we couldn't get a slide and accidentally shout, what's your problem? You hear, oh, I don't like the way you shouted at me. You know, stuff like that. Let's just communicate and be more open with our feelings. Maybe we would understand each other better and feel much more motivated. That's the word. Miss Jennifer, I don't know if you're still online and I don't know if you can hear us, but we want to say a big thank you for participating and
Audio is bad. I can't hear anything again. Can you please check the audio if you can hear us? Audio has gone off. Please, can you check?
we're really grateful for the opportunity to be here. Thank you for what you have done, what you are still doing, and what you are going to do moving forward in the media team and in the church as a whole. We want to say we are really grateful. Father, anything we have committed, knowingly or unknowingly, maybe what we are going through is a punishment of sins we might have committed. Please forgive us, cleanse us, and make us whole. We cover ourselves with the precious blood of Jesus. We soak our spirit, soul, and body with the precious blood of Jesus. For in Jesus' name, I've prayed.
Amen. So, guys, thank you. We really appreciate you guys. Love you. Have a great weekend. Bye.